Hello, this is Keith, welcoming you to the 1879th edition of the Enfield Talking newspaper, Dateline the 1st of November 2012. The readers this week are Janet, Kate, John, Keith, and Robin is on the controls. The items that we will be reading come from our local newspapers, the Enfield Gazette, the Enfield Advertiser and the Enfield Independent, and are their copyright. Our title music is Country Rock Polka, composed by Pat Prilly, Ferdinand Bouillon and Harry Breur. It's performed by Jean-Jacques Perry and is used with his kind permission. Local stories include Horrified by Plans for Parks, Pair Raid Home of 100-year-old, and Borough's Battle for Regrading of GCSEs. First, the special news items this week. Sylvia Chapman has arranged a pre-Christmas dance on Tuesday the 27th of November at the Civic Centre from 6:30 until 10:30. A buffet meal and drinks are included in the price. Tickets cost £14. Please ring 07535 624 915 about booking transport. That's 07535 624 915 about booking transport. The Home Library Service is part of Enfield Libraries and provides a delivery service to people living in the borough who are unable to visit a branch library due to age, mobility, disability or their caring responsibilities. We visit each of our members every 4 weeks. The service is free and we will tailor it to your taste. For visually impaired people, we can provide books in large print or recorded books on CD or cassette. We can also bring music on CD or films on DVD for people with some vision. Members are free to reserve particular items. If you would like to join the Home Library Service or know someone who would, please call 01992 716 010 and we will arrange for the Community Access Librarian to visit you. That's 01992 716 010. The Enfield Macular Disease Support Group meets on the second Wednesday of every month from 10 a.m. to 12 noon at the Trinity Church Hall, Gentleman's Row, Enfield, EN2 6AN. The meetings are open to anyone affected by central vision loss. Carers are welcome too. For further details, please contact Alan Newson on 020 8886 5659. That's Alan Newson on 020 886 5659. If you are experiencing any problems receiving your Enfield Talking newspaper, please phone Diane de Jersey on 020 8805 6578. She is your listener's representative and she will be pleased to help you. That's Diane de Jersey on 020 8805 6578. At the end of side 2, please remember to turn over the address label in your postal packet, put the cassette into the packet and return it to us as soon as possible, in readiness for the next edition. Now Janet will read the first item of local news.
Neighbours are horrified Enfield Borough Council has applied for a licence to host events on Chase Green. The proposals, if approved, would transform the quiet park into an entertainment venue, which could host events between 7 a.m. and 11 p.m. every day. Brian MacDonald and Ruth Hatchett of Chase Green Avenue in Chaseside, Enfield, which overlooks the park, strongly oppose the proposals. They are concerned about noise from the event as well as from the generators, which they believe could run for 24 hours a day. Mr. MacDonald, who has lived in his home for 46 years, said, "We are obviously horrified when we saw this proposal. It is very difficult to find on the website, as it was in the licensing section, not planning, but it was devastating to find out what they were proposing. You can imagine the noise that would be generated by the music. The council approached funfair company Mannings about the possibility of running a funfair on the green in the run to Christmas. The company rejected the offer, believing it would not make enough money as the park is too far from the shops. Mr. MacDonald stumbled across the regulation entertainment notice when walking through the park on Saturday, October the 6th. He's concerned that people only have until Sunday to contact the council with concerns about the proposal. The pair also fear the war memorial in the park could be damaged as a result of large amounts of people using the green as a venue. He said people play football on the green and fly kites and all the things that people do in a quiet recreational way. I partly agree with what the council is doing, but not on the Chase. Mr MacDonald, Mrs Hatchett have taken the matter into their own hands and have given out 250 leaflets to neighbours, urging them to oppose the council's plan. Mrs Hatchett said, "It is not enough trust that they will be properly regulated." She has also objected on public nuisance and safety grounds, believing the noise could cause severe and constant stress and nuisance to anyone living within 2,000 metres of the green. However, a council statement insists the green would only ever be used occasionally as an entertainment venue. It said, "We want to use 20 of our parks and open spaces as occasional entertainment venues to attract people into Enfield and provide diverse, stimulating and entertaining events for young and old alike in a safe and controlled environment. These proposals are very much about enabling occasional events to take place rather than putting on regular events, and we are not applying for an alcohol licence." According to the council, if the plans are approved, each event would need to be granted permission by the relevant committee before it took place. It said it would ensure all scheduled activities are properly managed and did not have a detrimental effect on the people living nearby. The statement said, "We have no intention of holding any events anywhere near the War Memorial, and we'd encourage residents to have their say on these proposals prior to the item appearing before the licensing subcommittee."
2 hooded burglars ransacked the home of a 100-year-old woman who sat in bed terrified while they rifled through her belongings and made off with just £40. The 2 men raided the maisonette of Violet Brett in Gordon Road, Enfield, just after 9 p.m. As they ripped through the property, Mrs. Brett told the burglars, whose faces were hidden by hoods, that they wouldn't find anything of value in her house. Instead, they grabbed £40 in cash, which had been left out in the living room. Mrs. Brett's daughter, Iris Toomey, 68, of nearby College Gardens, said it had been a terrible experience for her mother. "When I came to see how she was, I didn't know how I was going to find her," she said. "Luckily, she's okay. I think I was more upset." Mrs. Brett's neighbour, Margaret Allen, 65, who heard the burglars, believes the property was targeted because of its vulnerable occupant. She said, "I think it was because of the fragile state of the front door and because an old person lives here. I feel that it was not a coincidence that they chose to break into this house. The wooden frame of the door was lying in the hall and the property ransacked, with the seating and cushions all in disarray and possessions all scattered about." A shaken Mrs. Brett told the Advertiser she felt lucky she'd not been injured by the burglars. Police are calling for anyone with information about the robbery to come forward. The 2 burglars are described as black and aged about 19. Acting Detective Sergeant Robert Hood said, "Being burgled is a distressing experience for anyone and can have a lasting impact on those affected. I am keen to speak to anyone who has information on this incident. Those with information should call the police on 101. Enfield Council and the borough's police force are launching a new campaign urging residents to follow a simple set of rules, such as not leaving keys or valuables near doors and leaving some lights on at home to avoid burglaries this winter."
Enfield is at the forefront of a legal battle to regrade English GCSE exams after hundreds of pupils failed to get their expected exam results. Enfield Council is part of the group of 42 English local authorities, led by Lewisham Council, which presented its case to the 2 exam boards involved in the grade boundary row, AQA and Edexcel. As well as the council's involvement in the legal challenge, the head teacher of Highland School, Bruce Goddard, who is chairman of the Enfield Association of Head Teachers, has lent his voice to the challenge. Mr. Goddard has been vocal in his outrage over the changing grade boundaries between January and June, which meant that some of his students at the school in Wallsend Lane, Grange Park, who were on course to pass their English GCSE, missed out by tiny margins because neither students nor teachers had been told of the changing goalposts. His campaign against the exam boards ratcheted up a notch after he revealed that his school would be invoicing the exam regulator, Ofqual, which ruled that the grades should stand, for the cost of hiring a teacher to prepare the students for the resits, which he estimates will be £2,000. He told the advertiser, head teachers in Enfield will continue to request that the June papers are regraded using the January thresholds and support possible legal action that might be taken by our professional associations. The head is incensed by the government's inability to act, and at a parents' evening for prospective pupils, he presented a slide that pointed out the injustice of the decision to move the grade boundaries halfway through the school year.
A member of staff at Cheshunt School has been given a national award for her hard work. Kathy Walsh, a student support manager at the school in College Road, Cheshunt, was given the Pupil Development Award by the National Association of School Business Management after being nominated by the head teacher, Andy Stainton. Kathy's role as a student support manager is to look after all the non-academic aspects of pupils' education. She was announced the winner of the award at a lavish ceremony at the Thistle Hotel in Marble Arch in central London. It was the most amazing feeling to be given the award, she said. It was brilliant. It's lovely to be number one in the country. It felt like winning a gold medal. She was given the award following a glowing recommendation from Mr. Stainton, who said, Kathy is tireless in finding ways to develop every aspect of the students, whether it be personal, academic or social, so that they achieve success. The whole school community is proud of this well-deserved recognition, and I know that our parents greatly value the exceptional pastoral support we provide at Cheshunt School, which has now been recognised nationally as the best practice in the country. Kathy added, the award not only represents my success, but that of the staff and community of Cheshunt School. I shared an amazing evening with colleagues at the Thistle Hotel. I would like to thank Andy, the senior leadership team and staff who have allowed me to develop the support structure in the school and develop my skills in leadership. Without them, none of this would have been possible. Following her success at the awards, Kathy is to be invited to 10 Downing Street as a reward for her hard work.
It's a lovely picture here of crowds of people in a sweet shop in Church Street, Enfield Town, clutching £10 notes or something bigger. The last thing anyone expects to see on a quiet autumn morning is a mob of determined shoppers clutching cash and descending on a shop with the sole intention of spending every last penny of their money. But that was the scene that greeted the owner of Ma Batty's sweet shop in Church Street, Enfield, as a brass band loudly trumpeted the arrival of shoppers determined to spend their hard-earned loot. I was absolutely gobsmacked, said Pam Batterley, owner and manager of the shop. It was a complete surprise. I had absolutely no idea at all, and suddenly I saw there was a brass band outside the shop. At first I just thought it was the Salvation Army, and thought they're a bit early. But then all these people descending on the shop, brandishing their money. I haven't stopped smiling all week. The idea of boosting businesses by shopping en masse in an independent shop is an American import. The twist in the Enfield version of the stunt is that the exact location of the spending spree is kept a complete secret until the very last minute. The idea is a brainchild of an Enfield entrepreneur who wishes to remain anonymous to ensure the scheme, which will see a number of shops ambushed with cash in the coming months, maintains its aura of mystery and adventure. It doesn't matter if you spend £5 or £100 at something like this, he said. It's about getting the feeling of a shop, about enjoying the experience and wanting to go back there again and again. The impetus behind the organised shopping sprees is to encourage people to choose to shop locally rather than driving to large out-of-town shopping centres. Small independent businesses rely on their regular customers, and this was an ideal way of getting new regular customers.
2 gunmen who carried out a string of terrifying raids at shops in London, Hertfordshire and Essex were jailed for a total of 52 years. Michael Fraser, 27, of Hertford Road, Waltham Cross, and Canice de Carvalho, 34, of Tudor Avenue, Cheshunt, threatened, beat and tied up shop staff, holding them at gunpoint while they stole goods and cash totalling more than £100,000. Fraser was jailed for 24 years at the Old Bailey, and de Carvalho was sentenced to 28 years in prison. The previous day, the pair had been found guilty of conspiracy to rob and firearms offences relating to 11 robberies. Between December 2009 and December 2011, Fraser and de Carvalho targeted Co-op, Tesco, Express and Sainsbury's stores and staff, stealing cash, cigarettes and alcohol to the value of £112,000. The men attacked staff as they opened their shops or while taking newspaper deliveries in the morning, forcing them to open safes and tills and often threatening to shoot them with a loaded revolver. The court heard how terrified employees were forced inside storerooms, held at gunpoint, beaten and tied up with cables. On a number of occasions, staff were shown a loaded revolver, and one woman was told she would be shot if she didn't do as they said. As part of Operation Sanga, armed officers from the Hertfordshire and Met police forces raided the homes of Fraser and de Carvalho in December 2011. Items recovered included a loaded revolver, ammunition, balaclavas and cable ties used during the robberies, as well as more than £7,000 in cash. Detective Inspector Ralph Kirchell said, "We identified these men through solid detective work and the commitment of our officers to arrest and bring to justice violent criminals who thought nothing of pistol whipping and beating terrified shop staff."
Furious residents are urging people to have a say on plans for flood defences around Salmons Brook before the consultation period closes. Residents in Grange Park and Winchmore Hill are outraged at Environment Agency proposals to build a bund, or dam, around Salmons Brook to prevent future flooding in the Montague Road area of Edmonton, which was badly hit in 2000. They say there will be a continuous stream of heavy articulated lorries trundling past houses in Uplands Way during the construction of the defences, and the fabrics of their homes will be torn apart, forcing some people to move. There is also widespread concerns that the plans will destroy Enfield Golf Course and allotments. John Oliver, a consultant electronics engineer who lives in Green Dragon Lane and has an allotment plot in Grange Park, told the Advertiser that despite assurances from the Environment Agency and Enfield Council, he remains unconvinced by the plans. "The problem is it will not stop flooding downstream," said the 67-year-old. "Allotments and gardens will continue to flood. We think this plan is a waste of taxpayers' money, because at Meridian Water they will be doing a huge development which will have inbuilt flood defences that will stop flooding down there. We in the allotment have lost crops because of flooding, and putting the dam in will make the problem worse." A council spokeswoman said, "The Environment Agency is confident that construction vehicles using Uplands Way and Cheney Walk would not cause structural or cosmetic damage to properties at this location. For any concerned residents, the agency has offered to carry out a survey of properties before and after the works to confirm that no damage has occurred. It should be recognised that the golf course already floods fairly frequently. It has been flooded twice this year, for example. The Environment Agency is offering a compensation package to Enfield Golf Club, which includes the implementation of an enhanced drainage system designed to ensure the course dries out more quickly than it does currently."
An Edmonton woman was jailed recently for her part in a sophisticated online dating scam that saw tens of thousands of pounds conned out of women from around the world. Evelina Sissin of Chiltern House, Beaconsfield Road, pleaded guilty to money laundering at Isleworth Crown Court in June and was sentenced to 18 months in prison. The 39-year-old had been working alongside Heri Agunu, who used Facebook, dating sites and other social media to portray himself as a white, widowed American businessman in search of love and companionship. He built a number of aliases for himself using details of real people. He spent anything from 2 weeks to months to groom his victims into forming a relationship with him and even falling in love. The next step in Agunu's scam was to persuade the women that he was struggling financially and needed to borrow money until he got paid. In one scam, he told the victim that he had won a multi-million-pound contract to deliver platform and transport services for the Met Police during the London 2012 Olympic and Paralympic Games, and he went to lengths researching and writing a fake lucrative contract showing himself as the winner of the work. Sissin's bank account was used to launder the money conned from the women. The scam was halted when a bank in the US stopped a payment which was believed to be fraudulent. Authorities in America then handed the case over to Met's Operation Podium, which tracked Agunu down and discovered the full extent of his crimes. 17 victims, aged from their mid-50s to late 70s, from America, Canada, Trinidad and Tobago were identified. One victim, a 69-year-old woman from the USA, sent Agunu £144,000. Another victim lost so much money that she had to declare herself bankrupt. Agunu, 25, of Forest Gate, East London, pleaded guilty to conspiracy to defraud at Isleworth Crown Court and was sentenced to 6 years and 4 months in prison. The judge ordered that the other offences of money laundering lie on file.
2 Enfield MPs have got in the spirit of Wear It Pink Day by donning rather unusual outfits. The lovely picture here of David and Nick in little pink outfits, very attractive. Conservative politicians David Burrows and Nick Dubois are urging people to get involved in an annual event to raise money for the breast cancer campaign. The charity is asking people all over the country to donate £2 to wear something pink with a superhero theme. Whether it is a pink superhero cape, pink socks or pink pants worn over tights. The Pink Day is in its 10th year and the new theme marks the charity's belief that anyone affected by cancer is a superhero. Nick Dubois MP said, "There aren't many causes that I would wear a pink baseball cap, sash and rosette for, but this is definitely one of them. I am more than happy to help raise awareness because breast cancer is the most common cancer in the UK. So hopefully people will donate £2 and we can make a difference." Every year in the UK, 48,000 women and 340 men are diagnosed with breast cancer. Mr Burrows urged people to support Wear It Pink Day to help pay for research, which will one day lead to a cure.
Filming for Enfield's own horror film has started. The film, called Eden Lodge, is being shot in a top-secret location in Enfield, ready for cinema release in Britain and America for Halloween 2013. Friends John Kiriakou and Andy Prodromou divulged little information about the film's plot, but have spent the past 6 months writing the script to get their first film ready for production. They are both fans of classic horror films, including Stanley Kubrick's The Shining, and decided to get to work on their own. The pair are using 4G technology, which was released on Tuesday, to record the footage and stream it live onto Facebook. Although most of the plot remains secret, Mr. Kiriakou says it will tell the tale of an American woman and a British man whose car breaks down when travelling in England. The couple stumble across Eden Lodge, where they stay for a weekend, and soon realise the people they meet are being killed one by one. Mr. Kiriakou, 35, from Enfield, said, "It's very difficult to make it in the film industry. So we thought we would just go for it.
It's a dog-eat-dog world in the corridors of power. 1 minute you're at the top of your game, and the next you're staring at second place, with your dreams lying crushed at your feet. And now it seems politician pets have become embroiled in the bitter rivalries and petty power grabs that keep their owners up at night. This year the coveted title of Westminster Dog of the Year was won by Star, a Norfolk Terrier belonging to Charlie Elphick, Conservative MP for Dover and Deal, which relegated Enfield Southgate MP David Burrows' Labrador, Chumley, into second position. Third place was scooped by the Labour MP for Chorley, Lindsay Hoyle's Rottweiler, aptly named Gordon. But despite Chumley's defeat at the hands of the Terrier, Mr Burrows is determined that his pooch is primed for pole position next year because his main rival, this year's winner Star, cannot stand for re-election. This is the first week of Chumley's 2013 campaign, the MP told the advertiser. The Labrador, who was campaigning on a platform of responsible dog ownership, had to drum up popular support and then complete a series of agility tasks in the Victoria Tower Gardens just opposite the Palace of Westminster. According to Mr Burrows, the gruelling campaign proved his pooch was a natural crowd pleaser. And in a philosophical take on the loss, he said, "What I realised is that it is much easier to get people to vote for Chumley than to vote for me." He was campaigning outside the school gates. There were even posters and stickers urging people to vote for him throughout the Conservative Party conference last month. Despite the defeat, his owner and campaign strategist remains upbeat about his chances next year. "It will be his year," added Mr Burrows. "He won the public vote, and that's what really counts in this game."
A play to encourage young people to drive responsibly is being shown to Year 12 students. Safe Drive, Stay Alive at Millfield Theatre in Silver Street, Edmonton, follows the story of 4 friends on a night out who are involved in a car crash. The show, paid for by Enfield Borough Council, is aimed at all Year 12 students in Enfield and will be backed up by lessons and booklets explaining how young people can reduce the risk of car accidents. Cabinet Member for the Environment, Councillor Chris Bond, said, "We are determined to do all we can to encourage young drivers to behave responsibly and safely on the roads because it benefits the whole of society." In the last 5 years, 60, 70 to 21-year-olds were killed or seriously injured on Enfield's roads, and we are desperately keen to reduce that figure by using education and a variety of other measures to improve road safety in this borough. A sad footnote to this story is that a man has been charged with causing death by dangerous driving following the death of a cyclist in Tottenham in March. Jonathan Baird of Margaret Avenue in Waltham Forest is accused of hitting 41-year-old Frank Magusha in White Hart Lane on March the 27th. He is due to appear at Haringey Magistrates Court on Tuesday, November the 20th. We have now reached the end of side 1 of this tape. Please stop your machine now, take out the cassette, turn it over and start side 2.